Clash Royale is one of those games that, much like your childhood crush, everyone forgets about until they peak in high school. And as someone who's played the game for over 9 years because I can't refuse a good deal, I often notice the worse the game gets, the more people actually play. And this concept was actually speculated a long time ago by Socrates, that wise men truly understand the value of pay to win. Now when a friend or coworker asks what deck you play, there's an unspoken rule that all players follow. For example, you would never mention you play Balloon and Lumberjack because you have unrelenting anger issues, or a Goblin Barrel Cycle deck because you have undiagnosed ADHD. And so, instead you say, I guess I play Elite Barbarians and Freeze, and you should be immediately sent to an insane asylum. But there really are some decks that can tell you everything about a person. For example, if you use the Barbarian Hut, I'd shake your hand and take you out for a beer. But if you use the Elixir Golem and Battle Healer, then you're probably an atheist or worship the devil, and I hope you find God soon. And if you haven't heard of Jinxie because you have a life and aren't chronically online, you get a gold star. But if you have, then you probably recognize the quote, "This is why we clash," which will forever live on in Clash Royale history. But if you know anything about TikTok, which I know very little about, then you might have seen some memes circulating around. This one called the Mega Knight trend is about, well, the Mega Knight. Or you may have seen my personal favorite, the Sneaky Golem. But memes always start from somewhere, and in this case we can think of 5'7", toothless, bald, oiled up man. Now if you're still thinking to yourself, why is Clash Royale's revenue more than double Clash of Clans and Brawl Stars when nothing has changed, I'd be wondering the same thing. But it's likely due to the season shop being removed and the excitement for more balanced evolutions. Not to mention the 30 minutes and outtakes to support a creator, which I'll be expecting a speedrun video on shortly. It could also be how easy it is to collect tower troops or unlocking evolutions. But as someone who's played for 9 years, it's clear Supercell knows what they're doing. And who am I to say Firecracker is still broken or Rune Giant needs a buff? However, Supercell has done one thing right in its 9 years of existence, and that's adding a spell that does the job of 4 different spells. And this is what's called proper balancing. Releasing the Dagger Duchess with a 90% usage rate, balanced. Reworking the Furnace to make it spawn a Fire Spirit every time it attacks with a 98% usage rate, perfection. What about adding level 15 cards to the game, not letting players spend gold, and force them to have patience each week? Now if you actually want to become a top player like Mr. Light, then you need a deck capable of beating the big 3, or Exodia. The first and most repulsive of the big 3 is Logbait. These decks are usually comprised of the most bang for buck cards, or BFBC for short. Hog Rider, Princess, and Goblin Barrel are all BFB cards. Now if you've been playing the game for 9 years straight, like me, and still can't escape mid-ladder hell, like me, these are the cards you'll be seeing 75% of the time, and are also the reason 100% of players delete the game. And so I've gone and discovered the solution. You can either steal your mom's credit card, or Skeleton Army and pray. If you happen to find yourself against an Expo, Mortar, or a player with text you can't read, then I'm sorry, but you've already lost. But to really comprehend how Supercell achieved a completely balanced game, we must first look at homeostasis. If your opponent places a Mega Knight, and you had to respond, would you A, build a counter push in the back, or B, try to kite and pull it to the other lane? The correct answer would obviously be C, place a knight. How about this one? If you had the choice of putting A, Golem, B, Giant, or C, Goblin Giant, in front of your Musketeer, which one is best? That would be D, the Knight. The other critical concept to understand is that some cards are simply better than others. For example, if you play Skeleton Army and I log it, my card is better. If you use the Witch, Wizard, or Executioner and I rock it, my card's better and I just got value. Now, if you're one of the people that actually enjoy evolutions, then you're probably one of 2 people. Either your deck looks something like this and includes Goblin Giant, P.E.K.K.A, or Mega Knight, and you also likely rely on the Firecracker or Dark Goblin, or you haven't played Clash Royale before evolutions were introduced. Now unfortunately for Clash Royale, it will never return to its nostalgic roots, but cheers to Jinxie for reviving the most fair and fun game to ever exist.